To me, there is nothing more rewarding than to watch champions win and to see them celebrated on this stage for what they've went through, what they've accomplished, what they dealt with. And see, we get to see the good stuff. We get to see the opportunity for them to be celebrated in front of all these people and to be rewarded. But what we don't see is the sacrifice. What we don't see is the price that they've paid, how they prioritize their life to make ACN important. And you know, what's interesting is I remember reading about Muhammad Ali, and a quote said, "I didn't like to get up at 5 a.m. and train every day. I didn't like to get up and run every day. I didn't like to have to sacrifice every single day to learn my craft, but I knew if I did, I could live the rest of my life as a champion." And that's what you got to take out of this weekend, is the insight and the knowledge that you're receiving, and go back and actually implement it as soon as you get out these doors. And here's what's interesting is, you know, you saw our video and all the great stuff you've seen all weekend on all the lifestyles and all the people that have accomplished amazing things. I was dreaming about those things the day I signed my independent rep agreement. I started dreaming that day. I started thinking about everything that I've wanted. I started looking at beautiful things, beautiful houses, beautiful cars, and just get my mind in the mindset of I'll do whatever it takes to have what those individuals have. And there's where you've got to be here this weekend. You've heard it over and over again about just living the dream and really just, you know, putting yourself in a position where you look at what you want and what are you willing to do to go get it. And we've got, I believe, the greatest 4 people on this earth leading our company. And let's give them another round of applause for everything that they've done for every single one of us. Now, I'm going to talk about the compensation plan, and one of the things you've got to get in your head is from the very beginning is how we make money. See, for my first couple weeks in the business, I was just excited. I didn't even know how we got paid. And how many of you agree you wouldn't want to sign up with me my first couple weeks if I didn't even know how we made money? So people would say, "What do we do?" I go, "Did you pay $499? They said, "Yeah." I said, "Great, that's awesome. That's really all I know. Now let's start dreaming." And what was interesting is no matter how many times I went to the mailbox, there was nothing in the mailbox for me because I didn't understand how we made money. So once I started understanding how we made money, I started acting and doing the things you need to do to make money in our compensation plan. Now, I believe if anybody's gonna fail in ACN, they're gonna fail between team trainer and executive team trainer. How many of you agree with that statement? I mean, that's if they're gonna fall apart, if it's not gonna work for them, it's gonna work somewhere, it's gonna fall apart somewhere between getting started at team trainer and going to executive team trainer. So know that your entire goal is to go and become an executive team trainer. That is where the success lives in our business. That is where the money lives in our business for a new person. So write down executive team trainer, ETT. Now you've got to become an ETT machine. And you've got to look at the way the company compensates us for becoming the executive team trainer. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how that works. Now, executive team trainer, the definition of an executive team trainer is 5 points with 2 representatives that each have 5 points personally sponsored. Once this happens, this is what you're entitled to: up to $3,000 a month in bonuses. And I'm going to explain how that works. See, you've got to become an ETT before you can talk about making those types of bonuses. So you want to get in a position so that you're able to make that kind of money, so that you're able to actually go out there and start generating what we call team cabs in our business. And how these team cabs are released is when a new representative comes in, it finds the upline executive team trainer. So let's say that you have your 2 reps, you have 5 points, they have 5 points, and you start recruiting new people. And they start recruiting new people. As the independent rep agreement goes in, it immediately finds the executive team trainer. Now, once it finds the executive team trainer in the upline, then you get credit in that month for that representative. Now, if you take a look at the diagram, and as we talk about recruiting 14 people in a given month, this should be every single one of our goals when we first get started in this business as an executive team trainer, is to maximize the compensation plan. We want to make as much money as possible. And when I talk about maximizing it, understand one thing, is that no money is paid in our program unless somebody acquires their first 5 points in 30 days. Now, I think Adrian Imo did a phenomenal job talking about people getting qualified, talking about the services that we market, taking a product to the masses. I mean, how many of you are excited about the TV announcement. Now, how many of you are really, really excited? Now, you've got to realize, for the last 8 years that I've been in this business, I hated TV. Because I used to, call that the box that'll bring your income down. And how many of you agree, the broker somebody is, the bigger their TV is? Have you noticed that yet? How many of you ever walked into someone's house that has no money, but they have a 60-inch flat screen? And what they don't know is a TV that big only works nice in a big house. Would you agree with that statement? So their house is this big, and their TV takes their entire wall up, and they're this far away from the TV. Now, I love TV. Why? Because we get paid on it. Does that make sense? So now when we walk into somebody's house and they're in our business and we see that they have Cox Cable, or they have Comcast, or they have any of these other cable TV providers, our job is to take the remote control when we leave. Does that make sense? And then you call them back and they go, I can't find remote control. Say, well, listen, I'm sending somebody over. We're gonna get you a new remote control, right? With all of the new channels that you want to see for that TV you've got in your living room. So we want to talk about maximizing the compensation plan, but building distribution, and I want to talk about how that's going to affect you and I long term. Does this make sense? Now, let's talk about maximizing the marketing plan. $3,000. We had a gentleman, Dave White, out of the Boston area. These guys are on fire. Came into the business. His question, how do I make $3,000? How am I entitled to make that money? How does that work? Drew it out, diagram, figure it out. Looked at the compensation plan. I bring some people in, help them bring some people in, assist and help them get their 5 points, teach and train other people to do the exact same thing. A duplicatable system, understood there was a system in place, went to work, was able to maximize the marketing plan. Incredibly important to create that story for the people that you're gonna be bringing in behind you. Your job as an executive team leader is you get paid through every executive team trainer anywhere within your organization. So now you're in a position where you're helping your executive team trainers hit their $3,000 a month bonuses. You're in there coaching them and training them and mentoring them, showing them some techniques and some skills that you've developed over the time being with this company. And what's amazing about that is your job is to help them get their first 5 points and help them plan a home meeting. Now, I found personally, the less fancy you get in this business, the less charismatic you are, and the more to the book you are, the faster your business is gonna grow. You get in, let me get your 5 points out of the way, let me get you on the service, let me show you how to get some customers. We need customers in order for you to get paid. You need to go ETT, plan their home meeting. Now, if they do not wanna have a home meeting, agree with them. Say, hey, I understand. I know how you feel. I felt the same way. Let me get my upline on the phone. Let me get an edified expert on the phone so maybe we can work out and find a way for us to be able to help you in your current situation. And what I do is three-way them into somebody that actually can build value in having them understand a home meeting. Very important. Everybody comes in, has to have a home meeting. PBR is where success lives in our business. Now, help the newest rep get off to a fast start. Our goal is to create a story. And you've got to get people sold out in creating that story the first 30, 60, and 90 days. And you know why that's so important is because how many of you agree the stories are what sell the opportunity? And you got to give them the analogy of an airplane. Now, we've all flown here. A lot of us have flown here. Now, how many of us remember sitting at the end of the runway in the airplane, in the jet, and before they taxi down the runway, they get the turbine spinning? How many of you just hear that engine roaring? You're sitting in the back, and they have the brake on, and they get it roaring, and all of a sudden, they drop the brake, and it starts to go. And there goes the jet down, taxiing down the runway, and they're giving it everything it's got. It gets up to a certain altitude, and how many of you notice that all of a sudden, they back off the throttle? Now, how many of you don't say anything, but think something when that happens? How many of you are like, is there something wrong? But you don't say anything, you don't want to cause a riot, but you're thinking to yourself, what happened? See, they don't need the same amount of energy to go hundreds of miles that it took them to get off the ground. Literally, they'll spend 60% of their fuel getting that jet off the ground, but they can go hundreds of miles once it's 10, 20, or 30,000 feet in the air. The same thing to our business. So you want to convince that new person, you want to get down with that newest guy in your group, and you want to sell them out on launching their business. You've got to get them sold out on that concept, creating that story. And once they get sold out on that story, and you want to stay with the newest person, because how many of you agree that's where all the excitement is? With the new people. You know why I love this business? I love the new people, because the new people get so excited about everything and the possibilities. Sometimes if you've been around a little long, sometimes you're still talking about your negative brother that doesn't want to do the business. How many of you agree with that? They're still talking about the guy that said no. The new person never had anybody say no yet, so they're excited. Would you agree with that? See, I was excited. I couldn't believe it. I was actually shocked somebody would say no. I thought, you don't have no common sense. How could you say no? This is a common sense business. You have no common sense. And it perplexed me. I couldn't figure out why somebody would say no. The new person is where all the excitement is. But remember, you've got all the knowledge. You've got all the insight. Executive team leaders, you can bonus out at $7,000 in bonuses. See, you need to start drawing your organization out. Who's your newest person? Get in there, help them. You know what happens when you start working low in your group? It motivates the whole group. How many of you agree with that sentence? You start dropping down, next person, next person. See, sometimes when you recruit people, if you think about it, you have a relationship with those individuals that you recruit, correct? And because you have a relationship, sometimes you're more comfortable talking to the guy that you personally recruited, but not the person that they recruited, who recruited somebody, who recruited somebody. But you've got to go down in your organization as deep as you can, because what it does, it motivates the whole team. Number two is it gives you an opportunity to be able to identify your leaders. You know what's awesome about that is when you identify your leader, you'll know when you get a leader. It's very obvious. They just start doing it. And they call you all the time. And they're putting you on the phone with people all the time. And they're excited. And they're just, carrying a great mental attitude. And they got their goals written down and their dreams written down. And they know what they want. And they know what they want out of this business. And we got Jane and Courtney Borelli out of New England, #1 TCs last quarter. These guys have a goal, driven, excited, motivated. Person after person after person after person, they came in, it was over. My brother moved in with them and that was it. What's exciting about that is you'll know when you find them. See, what's exciting about understanding the compensation plan is that you've got to also understand we're getting paid for helping new reps go out and get their customers, so we're making money today. So you have to take a look at hundreds of reps will bring you thousands of customers. McDonald's proved one thing to me. The product doesn't matter. Because I've never eaten there one time and said, that was good. How about you? What do we usually do when we eat at McDonald's? What are we thinking, right? How did they become the #1 seller of meat in the world? 1986 came out with chicken, or they said it was chicken, I don't know. Those nasty nuggets, how many of you agree? We don't know if it's chicken. Little Nasty Nuggets became the #1 seller of chicken in the world. 31,000 stores globally. Give away more Heinz ketchup than Heinz sells. McDonald's, distribution. Now we're gonna do the same thing here. We're gonna call these McTellys. How many of you want McTellys all over the world? Right? The bigger the rep base, the more money that you make in this business. The bigger the rep base, so you want to focus on hitting those team cabs, getting their 5 points, hitting the team cab, getting the 5 points, so on and so forth through your whole organization until you have a global organization. And when that happens, everything starts to change in your life. See, when I first started this business, I came to this convention like every one of you. See, the difference was I didn't fly. I didn't drive in a beautiful car. I drove in my 1986 Escort. Now, how many of you agree that car wasn't cool in '86? How many of you agree nobody was saying, is that yours? Nobody said, can me and my wife get a picture next to it? Right? Nobody ever said that. I used to pull up to a club, they'd say, around back. I'd take that thing around back. See, but my mentor taught me one thing. He said, Patrick, understand this business, make it important, prioritize this business. See how my life goes? This is my priorities. God, family, ACN. That's how my decisions go. That's how I operate. Now people say, well, what about a social life? I go out every night. How about you? I'm socializing every night. I socialize on Saturdays. I socialize on Sundays. How about you? I'm out every night meeting positive people, having fun, building a business. But once I understood the compensation plan, everything changed, including what I drive. Now, how many of you agree, little change? You want to get somebody's attention? Go from driving what you drive now to driving something that costs $100,000. How many of you agree success leaves clues? Now, what I love about this, being able to work this business with my brother and just understanding the power, really the power behind sorting people, sorting through people. You've got to have the mentality of sort, not sell, not convince, sort. See, when you come into this business, sometimes people come in with two different attitudes, and I want to talk about the two different attitudes. Let's say in this example we had Shane Douglas. I brought him up here, and I said, Shane, Senior Vice President, I want you to stand on this side. And I brought in Jeff Davis, and I said, Jeff, I want you to stand on this side, and I'm going to send both of you downtown Phoenix, and here's what I want. Shane, I want you to beg for $10 off of everybody you see. And I say to Jeff Davis, I'm going to give you a bag of $10 bills, and I want you to give away $10 to everybody you see. Is everybody clear on this? So there goes Shane downtown begging for $10, and let's say I walk by, okay, and let's say that I'm a rotten apple, and I'm just a negative person. I walk by, and there's Shane. He says, you can have $10. I go, get away from me. You people need to get a job. Sick and tired of this. Get a job, get away from me. Now, how did Shane take that? Would you agree? He feels bad about that. He took that bad. He feels bad because he feels like he's begging me. And there's Jeff Davis on the other corner. Same guy. I walk by Jeff Davis. He goes, here's $10. I go, you people need to get away from me. Trying to give money away? What's wrong with you? Go get a job. Now, how's Jeff taking that conversation? I'm an idiot. Would you agree with that? See, two different conversations trying to do the same thing. First person realizes we're giving away a multi-billion-dollar opportunity. The other person's begging. Do you see the difference mindset? Taking your opportunity to the masses. See, when I understood that part, I felt good about what I was doing. If people didn't understand it, it's your problem. It's your fault. You don't get it. That's okay. It's okay to remain ignorant. Would you agree with it? Just don't be proud of it. It's all right. Move on. See, here's the difference. We are sorters. We are sorters, and you've got to become a professional sorter. Now, when you talk about inviting, you talk about what do you do all week long? You're meeting with people all week long. You're seeing people all week long. Home meeting, working with the newest guy in the team, helping them get their points, helping them get off to a quick start, helping them create their story. You're working them. Then you want to build for Saturday training. Saturday trainings are important for every single one of us to have success in this opportunity. See, Saturday trainings, I believe, are the foundational point of your business to be able to take inventory of what happened all week long. How many of you agree with that sentence? That's your report card. You know where your report card is? Saturday morning. Commit to a Saturday training. If you don't have one in your area, have one at your house on Saturday. Is that okay? See, Saturday training is what's important in your business. Number one, helps people see the big picture. When I first got involved in this business, I walked into a room, there was 30 people in the room. I go, oh my God, there's 30 people in the room. I couldn't believe it. I didn't know it was that big. I thought, I better get to work. Look at all these people. There's over 30 people here. Now, how many of you agree when they walk into something like this, they're like, oh my God, look at all, right? But when they come into a Saturday training, you remember it gives them the bigger picture of what we're doing. Also, gets people excited about meeting success stories. Getting a chance to meet some of the Mike Basudis of the world, the Simon Aboods of the world. You get a chance to meet these individuals, real live people like you and me. It gets people excited. Also, gets green apples off the fence and in your business. How many of you agree most people that don't get started just don't have the confidence in what we're doing yet? You want to raise their confidence about it. How do you raise their confidence? Information. How do you get around other people that have done it? See, what they're saying is that I don't believe enough yet to give you $500. That's what they're saying. I don't believe enough about what you're doing until you get into a Saturday training, and all of a sudden they walk in, their confidence starts to grow, they meet some successful people. Also, trains a group on how to get customers. Are customers important? You want them to do a presentation? How many of you agree you want your reps out doing presentations? They need to see presentations in order to duplicate presentations. How did I learn how to do this business? I sat front row, tape recorder, play, rewind, play, rewind, play, rewind. I had a tape recorder everywhere I went. Anyone spoke, I literally put the tape recorder right next to them, listened to every word they had to say. See, in school, if you write what somebody else wrote, they call that plagiarism. In ACN, if you say what somebody else said, they call that profound. I used to say it the way my mentor said it, and they would say, that's amazing. I go, that's what I thought when I heard it too. Duplication. How many of you agree in school you got in trouble for copying? Here you get diamonds in your pin for copying. How many of us want to copy? Right? Now, gets a new rep confident about the company. It gets them confident about the system. They see that it's a real deal. They see it's something that they can do. It's something they can take advantage of. So you want to get good at promoting those Saturday trainings. I look at it as my report card. I stand in the back of the room, you know, it's great with Regional Vice President Jamila Steele and Regional Vice President Jeff Street. We're in the back. We're taking note. How many people do we have? How many people from this group? Who's serious about their business? Who are we going to work with next week? Who are we going to dig in with? Who are we going to roll our sleeves up with? We're looking at that as our inventory, our report card on the Saturday trainings. And all of us need to really accept that. Now, here's what I look at. ACN has done an amazing job bringing all of us an amazing opportunity. Average, everyday people in this auditorium with above average dreams, willing to sacrifice, willing to go out and pay the price. But if you think about our deal is we get the customers. Is that not correct? Our deal is we go get the reps. Our deal is we get the customers. ACN has to go and spend all the millions of dollars for infrastructure, global expansion, opening up other countries, paying us, keeping track of our income. I mean, they're busy. Would you not agree with it? They've got a lot of things to be doing, but when you think about what our deal is to get the customer and get the reps. That's what we're supposed to do, but you look at the tools that ACN provides us, even though they don't have to. Because if you think about it, that's our responsibility. Would you not agree with that? Meaning we're supposed to be the marketing arm, but ACN is bringing out, I believe, some of the greatest tools when it comes to building this business. Number one, distributor website. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Your business assistant, it's phenomenal. Having Donald Trump, you can use that 24 hours a day. It's an even message all the time, every day. The internet is incredibly powerful. You want to be working 24 hours a day, you need to get that distributor website up, running, and out there. Number two, downline reporting. You know why you need a downline reporting? So you can see your downline. And if you don't have a downline, you need to get the reporting. Remind yourself you don't have a downline. Does that make sense? You need to click it every morning. It hasn't changed, your fault. Not a new customer, your fault. Not a new rep, your fault. How many of you agree with that? Make a big note in your bathroom mirror, check my downline today. Nothing happened, your fault. Can we do this? Now when you take a look at conference calls, great, awesome, an amazing opportunity for you to be able to take advantage of that. Also, All Access Pass. How many of you love the DVDs that they're sending, the lifestyles that they're sending? See, I feel personally, when I see Debbie Davis and I see, the regional vice presidents that are on there, the senior vice presidents that are on there, individuals that had massive success, do you realize that they're actually coming to us and all we have to do is push play on a DVD? How many of you like that? See, I look at some of these guys, I see Danny Bay, I feel like I have to pay him. Simon Abood, I feel like I have to pay him. When I see these guys, I feel like I have to give them money, all the money they made me by showing their story. See, some of you have to realize when you see them, you shake their hand, thank you very much. That your story put 1,000 reps in my business last month. How many of you like that concept? So you realize it's all the time, every day available for us to use, $21.99, plus it gives you 1 point. How many of you like the 1 point idea as well? Have to get points. The company's giving us 1 point for that. Now, important tools. The ACN Opportunity DVD. Now, how many of us agree that you are so proud to be part of ACN when you see that DVD? It's great for selling the dream, great for getting people's confidence up about what they're doing. Again, say less, let the work be done by the DVD. It's just an awesome tool. Success from Home magazine, phenomenal. Again, the stories are what sell this opportunity. People get excited about the lifestyles that you're able to show. You see somebody that you want to be able to profile and look at and show. It's so awesome. You can just point to their story in Success from Home magazine. Unbelievable. Now, you've got to be the best promoter in your business. Every single one of you here say, I am a leader. And leaders lead. You need to always have a guest. You should never go anywhere without a guest. You should always be the best promoter of your business. People need to see what you're doing and duplicate what you're doing. Have nobody at the event. Your team probably has nobody at the event. You've got to lead yourself first. Do it first. Bring people to the event yourself. Now, you should always have tools available. You know what drives us crazy as leaders is when we have up-and-coming leaders that don't have any tools. They're looking at me, do you got any more magazines? Got any more DVDs? And I'm thinking to myself, where's yours? Where's your stuff? Aren't you ready for success? See, I had a business before this. You know how you win in business? You know what's interesting, and I know there's traditional business owners here in the room. See, I had a business before this, and you know how I learned in business? I lost money. Anybody else? Yeah, and the more I lost, the more I learned. Until I lost so much money, I wanted to be a consultant. How about you? Just give me 10 grand, I'll save you 50. Don't do that, I did that one. right? See, understand, ACN's bringing out all this great stuff. You want to have some inventory. You want to have some stuff ready to go. And you should always have the right mental attitude when you're taking the opportunity to the masses. Work on you. Develop you. Learn this business. Learn this marketing plan. Work on your language. Work on your posture. How are you taking your message to the masses? Could you recruit somebody that is good or great? How do you show up every day? What do you look like? See, once I started understanding some of these fundamental things, I went out, I bought a suit. My first suit was from Sears. Now I understand, you probably didn't know Sears sold suits. They do. Now this suit was fireproof, my first suit in ACN, and they told me the day I bought it, they said, you'll never need another suit. I used to take it off and it would just stand by itself. It was awesome. Right? But I went to Saturday training, suited up, looked good. They said, you want to act like the part of where you're going, not where you are, where you want to be, not where you are. And I've got passionate about just paying attention and really just listening and learning and doing everything that I can. Now, the thing you've got to look at is you've got to get inspired. You hear these stories on this stage this weekend, you got to take that inspiration back to your marketplace. But here's the difference. Having a great attitude when it's not going great. Having a great attitude when you're failing. That's the secret of a champion. You know the secret of a champion? When everything's falling apart, but you got a great attitude. When somebody just quit, when somebody calls you up and says, I'm not doing the business anymore, you go, great, one less person I got to talk to. Having a great attitude, right? See, it's easy to have that attitude in this auditorium. You got to take that attitude outside of this auditorium. See, I got to be inspired all the time. I've got to read. I've got to really learn. And you know, I've read this book recently. It's stories of people that have done incredible things, inspirational things. And there's a gentleman, actually, that his name is Legson Kierra. And Legson grew up in Africa. 1958, he was 16 years old in East Africa. Dirt poor, no shoes, no running water. Sort of thought that was his lot in life. Some missionaries came to his village, taught him how to read. Taught him how to read. He read books about Booker T. Washington. There was a slave that stepped up and freed other slaves and became an icon for his people and a nation. Abraham Lincoln, who grew up with no shoes, a poor backwoods individual that became one of the greatest presidents in the history of mankind. And he realized as he read this, there's a gentleman, 1958, 16 years old, living in East Africa, that he was gonna go and get an education and be somebody. He was gonna go be somebody. He got himself a dream. So there he went, said to his parents, I'm going to America. I'm gonna get my education. I need an education. In order for amazing things to happen to me, I gotta get educated. So there he went, 5 days worth of food, an axe, a Bible, and a book about some inspirational heroes. And he made it off, and there he went down. 5 days into his trip, 25 miles into his trip, he gets sick. People coming over and helping him, he's thinking to himself, I can't turn back now. I'm already 5 days into my 3,000-mile trip to Cairo, where I'll catch a boat, and I will go to America and learn. There he is walking, and he said it was interesting. He said as he walked village to village, that not all of them were friendly villages. Not everyone spoke the same language. 1 year into it, 1,500 miles into it, he went to Uganda, and he started to work and started to earn money for his travel, and he started to get skills and knowledge and insights, and he went to the library and he started looking at all these different colleges all over the United States because that's where he was going. And here he saw one in Mount Vernon, Washington, and he saw the backdrop of the mountains in Mount Vernon, and he said, that reminds me of where I'm from, the village that I'm from. So there he is. Legson wrote letters to colleges and wrote one to that particular college in Mount Vernon, Washington. The dean of that university read that letter. And here's this guy walking across Africa in order to go to Cairo to catch a boat and come to America to get educated. The dean was so moved, he said, we'll give him a scholarship. We'll give him a job. We'll give him room and board. This is unbelievable. Now, Legson did not know that he got accepted. Did not know he got a scholarship. He kept on walking. Does that make sense? But he was so confident in where he was going, he bought some shoes because he didn't want to walk into whatever university was going to accept him without having a pair of shoes. Interesting. Before he was accepted mentally, he bought a pair of shoes because he knew he was going to walk into a university somewhere. Got to Cairo. While he was on his last year march 3,000 miles. The student body at the university was so inspired by what this individual did, was so moved, so touched by what this individual did. They raised money because he didn't have any money for the ride over. He didn't have any money for the boat fare. He didn't have any money for the plane fare. But they raised $650 for him. When he got word in Cairo that this university had accepted him with all that he had went through, with over 2 years of traveling, he dropped to his knees and thanked God above and cried that his goal was almost met. Walked into the university. Not only did he walk into the university with his shoes, but ended up getting a degree from that university, went on to get a doctorate degree, and currently today is at the University of Cambridge teaching political science, a well-known author of many, many books, inspiring, move you, and all we have to do is what? Get some customers. Right? All we have to do is get some reps, tell some stories, carry the video phone around, follow leaders, become a leader, work on ourselves, go to the National in June. That's all we've got to do. We don't have to walk 3,000 miles. We don't have to go to a foreign country. We don't have to sacrifice. We don't have to do everything that that individual did to be who he was. And here's what he said. He said, I was not, as most people think, the victim of my circumstances, but the master of my circumstances. Now, everybody here today, we've got a choice. And our choice is, as this company goes to the multi-billion-dollar mark, every one of you in this auditorium have the opportunity to override the multi-billions of dollars in revenue. My question to you is, where's your priority of that happening? Where's your priority? I held on to this with both hands. My brother, myself, we got into this. We locked arms. We wrapped our arms around this opportunity. We said we would never quit. We would never quit. We wouldn't let anything get in the way. We wouldn't let anything stop us. And you know what's interesting is that, we've had an unbelievable life. And unbelievable things have happened to us. And, we just have a rock star dream life, not worrying about what things cost, buy whatever you want. But things are going to happen to all of us. And last year, our father got sick. And he ended up passing away. And it was very, very hard on us, as you can imagine. And, just to be able to spend time with him and to be able to be there. And, as my mother grieved and as we all grieved, was able to go to the house that we had at the shore and drive in the car that we bought, our brand new one. And was not had to worry about money and didn't have to worry about, what I have to do to go to work. And, we knew the holidays were going to be tough. Could you imagine losing a parent? It's always tough. Would you agree with that? So my brother and myself, we go down to the jeweler and we bought a brand new Rolex for my mother with diamonds all over it. All over it. And we went and saw her for Christmas and we said, we've got a gift for you. We opened it up and there it was, a diamond Rolex watch. And we knew that my father would have always wanted to give her. And we did for him. And my mom looked at that watch. She said, is it real? We said the $8,000 we gave him was. And she put that watch on and she was so happy. And then we took her to the spa. How many of you like to go to the spa? Well, we went to 2 spas in 2 different states for 5 days. How many of you like that? Just when she thought she had enough, we said, we have 1 more day to go, Mom. Come on, to the spa, enjoy it. She said, I could get used to this. I said, you better. Welcome to the rest of your life. Now, I can't wait to hear your story. I can't wait to hear what you have to say. I can't wait to hear what you're going to tell us and the story that you have to tell. And this stage is waiting for you. Are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to do what it takes? Is your dream big enough? See, when somebody complains to me, my brother, you know what we say? Their dream isn't big enough. That's the problem. Their dream isn't big enough. You know what's interesting? You know why I know you're meant to be wealthy? And this is a test for all of you. You like nice stuff. That's how you know you're supposed to be wealthy. You like nice stuff. Somebody drives a nice car, you go, I like that. You go into a nice house, you go, I like that. See, here's how you know you're not meant to be wealthy. I'd never do that if I had the money. You never will. Weren't meant to be wealthy. Does that make sense? See, sometimes as we're recruiting people, they're just not meant. They're just not meant to have what it is we're going to get. They're not meant to have what this front row already has. They're not meant to have it. You are. Take a hold of this opportunity. I am telling you, make it important, make it a priority, make a commitment. 2008 could be the greatest year of your life, the pinnacle year with everything this company does, the ownership team that we've got. I mean, we are waiting for you on this stage. We are waiting for you at the RVP vacation. We can't wait to get to know you. We can't wait to hang out with you. We can't wait to party with you. And it's all possible through this company if you take it seriously. God bless. I'll see all of you in New Jersey. Take care, everybody.